Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Since we are right around the corner from the release of the new album Skeleton, I thought we could go through and broadly explain each one of Ghost's prior albums, touching on themes, the cover art, and its references. We won't really focus on the individual songs within the albums in this video, just what the overall theme of the albums were and what story, if any, are the album covers able to convey. So let's just start with the first and honestly still my current favorite album, and that's 2010's Opus Eponymus. In Latin, that translates to self-titled work, and the main theme of this album is a coming darkness, impending doom, and by the end of the album, the birth of the Antichrist. For the cover art, we see the silhouette of Papa loom over a church at night. It might not seem as elaborate as the rest going forward, but when we look back at them, it'll play a vital role. And this cover is a direct homage to the poster for 1979's TV miniseries Salem's Lot. Now let's move on to 2013's Infestissimum. The title is Latin for the most hostile or the biggest threat, which goes well with the actual theme of the album, which was stated in an interview as, "Everything on the first record was about a coming darkness, an impending doom, whereas the new record is about something present, and literally, the new record deals with the presence of the Antichrist, the devil," which is also clearly conveyed within the cover artwork itself, which shows an infant who we presume to be the Antichrist. This time we see Papa's silhouette loom not over just a single building, but an entire city. Whereas the first was a church at night, this time we are looking at Vatican City, the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church during the day, which is also surrounded by Rome itself. I personally believe a lot of clues to Papa 5 can be found in this album. Front and center is the infant itself, which curiously has a half mask on its face, just like Papa 5. During the flashback scenes shown during Right Here, Right Now, that indicated that Copia was a twin, and began our theories that Papa 5 will be that twin. We see some black and white images that I couldn't recognize at the time, but you guys let me know that those are actually stills from the Year Zero music video, which by the end focuses on this young kid who we presume to be the Antichrist. Were those included in the flashback to possibly hint at Papa 5 being this kid we've previously seen? For that, we have to wait and see. One last clue also comes from those flashbacks, as we are shown a statue of Romulus and Remus, the story of which ends with Romulus killing Remus and founding the city of Rome, which is where the Vatican City on this cover is found in. The sun and the daylight is also a big change, as that could be attributed to the growing boldness of the clergy and the fact that the Antichrist, or Lucifer, is also called the Lightbringer or Morning Star, and it connects to the Japanese release exclusive 10th track back from Opus Eponymus, which was a cover of the Beatles song Here Comes the Sun, which can be interpreted in so many ways, as not only here comes the literal sun as we went from night to day on the covers, but also the sun as in the child, who himself is Lightbringer Morning Star. The clear reference for this cover was the movie poster for Amadeus. But let's move on to 2015's Meliora, which is Latin for better or ever better. The theme of this album is the absence of God, which the band stated, "The lyrics deal with the void that happens when there is no God, when there is no one there to help you, but even then, there will always be some fucker there to give you guidance," and the band is basically portrayed as the religious party that comes in there with a guiding hand. We offer the one place in the world that is spiritual. And as you can tell, these covers keep getting more and more intricate with so many ways to interpret them. But as the first two covers offered Papa as a looming presence in both, here he is part of the city itself. Here he is the church itself, where the absence of God, he has become the only bringer of light and spiritual guide, and the literal bridge from possibly light and dark, or life and death. Then you have the second skull-like face that is made up by all the different elements, with all the citizens seemingly heading right to the mouth, which just looks like a burning inferno. The main reference to this one seems to be the poster for the movie Metropolis. With 2 more albums to go, we move on to 2018's Prequel. Tobias described the theme to be survival through a tumultuous time of your existence basically being threatened, and the concept of death and doom. He stated that he wanted to make an album about the plague and Black Death that wiped out 1/3 of the population of Europe at the time. So when we look at the amazing cover, the medieval style immediately makes sense. For the first time, instead of a Papa Emeritus, we get Cardinal-copia. And similarly as to how the last cover showed the epitome of Papa ingrained into the fabric of an industrial city and a mechanical hellmouth, here we get Copia sitting on a church throne, which also sits upon a 3-headed beast with a living hellmouth. Copia has these giant wings, yet both the wings and himself look plague-ridden. There's tons of more details down towards the bottom, but we would be here all day. For this cover, there are 3 main references that I want to mention, and those are the depictions of Hellmouth, a portrait of Pope Innocent X, and Sepultura's debut EP, Bestial Devastation. Lastly, we make it to the most recent studio album by Ghost, 2022's Impera. In Latin, it translates to command or to rule. The main theme of Impera is the rise and fall of empires. It's described as taking place hundreds of years forward from the 14th century Black Plague from the last album Prequel. The cover depicts a mechanical Papa statue of sorts, with the left side looking pristine, while the right side, even though it's probably still under construction, it still makes it look like it's falling apart and decaying, like the rise and fall theme of the album. If we look at the entire panoramic view of the image, which covers the front and back covers, we see that this is being housed inside some huge building high above the rest of the city. For the main source of inspiration, we have this image of Aleister Crowley, and in the giant windows behind it, we see the shape of a heptagram, which was also closely associated with Aleister Crowley. And that brings us up to the upcoming 2025 album, Skeleta. And while we have only heard one song, we do know a few things about it. In Latin, Skeleta just translates to the plural form of skeleton, and in my own opinion, truly embodies the themes of the album, which are to focus on oneself and look inward, to be more introspective, as to almost be having a conversation with oneself in the mirror. You don't get more introspective or inward than the skeleton itself. We see this mirror reflection theme applied to the album cover, which aside from tons of skeletons, is all about mirror images, specifically with the 2 on the left and right, which depict contrasting scenes of the same image. For the first time, we move away from the outward and zoomed out covers we have always had, overlooking different landscapes, and now, even though this seems to be set in the biggest setting, the vastness of space, we are stuck focusing within this claustrophobic room of sorts, just looking within ourselves. And the main reference that I was able to come up with when researching mirrors like this was this image of a ceiling room inside an LDS temple found in Manti, Utah. And with further context by Velo Vixen on Reddit, apparently these are sacred rooms to them where couples get married and look into opposing mirrors that reflect each other into eternity. This is what those opposing mirrors reflect on their own. And what we see on the cover is Papa looking into these eternal mirrors, or I guess we could name them Perpetua mirrors, since that word means eternal. And that completes our journey through the albums up to Skeleta and Papa 5 Perpetua. But now it's up to you guys. Out of everything I mentioned in this video, let me know what you think about all of this, and point out any of your own references and details you spot, as I have a lot of fun getting other people's perspective on everything. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all of our upcoming videos. And for more on Ghost, take a look at the rest of the channel, because if you have Ghost, you have everything.